G'day Furballs, so I know it's the start of the week, but to start this week off, I actually wanted to do my Q&A video. I think some of the questions were really amazing and I love them all, and I can't wait to get started on answering them. If you'd also like to make a question down below for any future Q&A videos, by all means use this little hashtag that's going to come up down below here and ask away. You can also wait for me on Twitter for when I do any particular Q&A hashtag questions up on there, because I will also be using my Q&A over on Twitter as well as for Affinity, Instagram, and basically anyone that does a hashtag in any of my comments with for Q&A. Oh, and before I do get started, you guys may notice I'm wearing an awesome, interesting shirt. I do have better footage of this because, like, it actually has me, and you know, it has my name, Engel, the Abyss, Dutchie, and I really love it, and it's actually from Teepublic. And if you guys would actually like to go and buy some merch off me, whether it be an interesting little paw print, in fact I've got a couple of different versions of that, or something furry related, by all means go and check out my Teepublic, which links will be down below in the description. Now to finally get started on this Q&A. Okay, so the first Q&A comes from K-Reader. Where do you want to take the channel? Are you planning on monetizing your videos or starting a Patreon? Well, to be honest, I actually haven't thought that far ahead about the channel. I think what I mainly want to do is fursuit related based, like helping others out in the furry fandom, tips like, you know, fursuiting out in public, how to avoid having really bad experiences, and talking about things that are happening in the furry fandom. I think one of the biggest things that I definitely want to do is help get the furry fandom out there in the positive way, because there is a lot of misconception when it does come to the furry fandom, and YouTube is literally blowing up with furries at the moment. It's become a lot more supportive, and I definitely think that's something I want to take advantage of. Now I gotta use my finger to, it's not even on the keypad, is it? Ooh dear. To be honest, I have actually heard about a lot of other furry YouTubers monetizing their videos to basically earn a little bit of money. Pretty much monetizing puts up like little bits of ads which get paid through YouTube, and YouTube shares those fees with you. To be honest, I've never really thought about earning money or making a living on YouTube. I've always done it to help others out. But I do think the idea is really, really cool, because it would actually help me go to bigger conventions like FURst and Convergence, as well as going to out-of-state ones like Anthrocon over in America. But not just that, but it would also help me put in donations into charities and helping to raise support for particular causes. So I kind of sort of think that the answer to that is probably going to be a yes, but at the same time I am debating about it. Patreon! In fact, a friend a while back actually suggested this to me, was to get a Patreon and start up over there where I can share content earlier than what I do actually on YouTube. Not only would you be able to see my videos a little bit earlier, but you'd also probably get the chance to see artwork. I'd also earn a little bit of money, and excuse the cockatoo in the background screaming crazily. But I'd also be putting up like little blooper clips and that over onto Patreon as well. I would really like to actually make a Patreon, so comment down below, just do it, if you'd like to see me make my own Patreon. At the intro of most of my videos, I would give shoutouts to my amazing Patreons. So let me know if that's something you guys would love to see me do. So the next question comes from Comedical Jackal, aka Spoopy Dippy Doo. Spoopy asks, what other characters do you have, if any? Well, this is probably going to be a long one. I actually have a handful of different type of characters in the furry fandom. There's my first persona, which was named Miguela, and she was my most favorite persona ever. Like, she was my persona, and then Engel came along and kind of sort of stole the spotlight, so to speak. I also have a werewolf type character as well, whom I ended up recently redesigning and naming her Wendiga. And then there's Rosenrot, who is my aqua dragon, and yes, I do name some of my characters from the band Rammstein songs, Then I have Gremory, who is my angel dog, whom I actually ended up adopting her, and last but not least, I also have my amazing glowing raptor, yes I said glowing raptor, named Lapis, whom is actually a bioraptor, and it's a species I created a very, very long time ago. But those are just the ones from the furry fandom that I still do use. and is not including any of the characters from the Mass Effect fandom, or Halo, or OCs that I've created, or fandoms that are out there that I just absolutely adore and love and create a character for it and blah 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 blah. So the next question comes from Bruzo Draconius. Bruzo asks, I'm suspecting you as a Newcastle-based furry YouTuber like me. Out of curiosity, are you? Why yes, I am indeed. I actually live a little bit out and away from Newcastle, but Newcastle is one of the most amazing places that I love to go to for cosplay meets and fur meets and just general places to hang out and do photo shoots. The next question comes from Dublin. Yay! Hi Dublin! I hope I'm pronouncing the names right, by the way. Dublin asks, have you gone to any fur cons or fur meets, or do you plan on going to any? Well, I actually went to a fur meet late last year, which was like the first fur meet for the guys in the local area. Future-wise, I am actually planning on getting out a little bit more once the much more cooler season comes along. And I'm really excited to be able to go out and fursuit with some of my local amazing guys because they're so amazing and I love them all so very much. I haven't yet gone to a fur con, but I am hoping to make it to FURdo this year because it's later this year. It's in Queensland. I've always wanted to go to Queensland. Not only that, but I really, really want to go see Pakariru. She is by far one of my most idolized YouTubers out there in the furry fandom. There is also Fur Jam in my area that happens, like, I think there's one in May or March, and then there's one later on through the year. And I'd love to go and, go to that. So that's in the planning. There is also one in Sydney called Harbour City Fur Con, I think is what it was called last year. I honestly didn't know much about it last year until it was like basically on. It's new from what I know of, and I would love to go and meet other furries there at this FurCon. It looks amazing from what I have seen, and I'm really excited to actually go to my first FurCon that's going to be a convention just for furries. Besides that, there is always going to be Supernova, which is like one of my biggest and most favorite events throughout the year, and that's going to be in Sydney, by the way, and Oz Comic Con, which will also be in Sydney. I would also love to go to Adelaide, where some of my other furry friends are, and they actually do a lot of fur meets out there, and I think it would be really, really amazing just to have that changeover from one state to another and be able to meet other furries outside of the local area. I would also love to make it to Convergence. It's about to happen soon. I would love to meet Telephone herself. She's like legit one of the best furries out there. Like, how much poppy fur can you get besides Telephone? But it's just that the timing's a little bit off for me per se, and it's also in one of those areas where it's a little bit hard to get to with public transport. But there is plans happening for next year. And if you're wondering why I'm not using my other arm, it's because it's a human arm. Oh my god, quick, kill it! Oh! So thank you to the guys that asked me all of these questions. They were really interesting to answer. For my first Q&A, I thought it was really awesome. So I hope this has been a really awesome video for the start of your week. And I've answered some interesting questions. I know one of the other biggest questions I keep getting asked is about YouTube. And, just so you guys know, on a little secret, this week's fur vlog is actually going to be talking about the top 10 things to do as a furry YouTuber. I don't know if you guys can hear me while I'm whispering, but I'm just going to pretend that you can. So if you guys would like to see some of that, always make sure to stay tuned. Thank you guys, as is always, for the love and support, and for making it this far through to this video because I've talked a lot. And I hope to see you, furballs, in the next video. Bye bye!